And we're live.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Total Utter Bullshit podcast. I'm Larry.
And I'm Zach. We're the Tubs of Shit bringing your opinions.
Alright.
No into the news?
No, because I am not a gnome.
Alrighty.
I love Trump.
Starting off with some Donald Trump news. He praises Saddam Hussein. I'll read you the direct quote here. Saddam Hussein was a bad guy, right? He was a bad guy. Really bad guy. But you know what he did well? He killed terrorists. He did that so good. They didn't read them the rights. They didn't talk. They were a terrorist. It was over.
He did that very well.
Initial reactions.
Well, when I saw this earlier, I think he's completely in the right by saying that. Saddam Hussein was a bad guy, yes. But he did kill terrorists.
Yeah, he also killed millions of innocents.
Yes.
For the number of terrorists he killed...
Like what, 1 to 100?
Probably 1 to 1,000.
Fuck.
If not larger. You know, and here, they didn't read them the rights, didn't talk, they were a terrorist, it was over. That's in gross violation of human rights. We have the right to a fair trial. We have the right to a trial by our peers.
Yeah.
So I don't care if he was a bad guy, I don't care if he killed terrorists. Obviously, I think terrorists should be fought against, but Saddam's way wasn't the right way.
Yeah, but he's not saying that it was the right way.
No, that's exactly what he's saying. He did that so good.
Yeah, but he's not saying that it's the right way. He's saying that he did his job efficiently and effectively.
Yeah, but the implication is that he thinks that that is a good way to handle things.
But at the beginning, he does acknowledge that he was a bad guy.
Yes, that is so that you can't say, yeah, you think Saddam Hussein is so great? Well, he killed millions of his own people.
Alright.
You can kill that argument.
Alright.
Except you can still make that argument because he didn't kill that many terrorists relative to the number of people he killed.
Well, yeah.
You know, this is not the first time Trump has praised other
Hussein or other
dictators.
Yeah.
In October, Trump said the world would be 100% better if dictators like Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi, the former president of Libya, were still in power. In February, Trump said at a political event, blah, 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 whether you like Saddam or not, he used to kill terrorists. And now Iraq is a breeding ground for terrorists.
Okay, looking at that after reading, like, if you take them out of context, if you take the first paragraph out of context, I guess, without knowing that he said that.
The backstory?
The backstory to that. The first comment kind of made a little bit of sense. The second one is like, alright, Trump, you're actually just a little bit crazy.
Like the October one?
Yeah, the one in October. The one where he's like, it would be 100% better if dictators like Hussein and Muammar
Gaddafi.
Muammar Gaddafi were still in power. Like, no.
Actually, I think there might be a case to be made for Gaddafi, but you can't really even compare Gaddafi and Hussein.
Okay.
Like, yes, they were both dictators, but it's really not the same. Skimming through this, Donald Trump's praise for brutal strongmen seemingly knows no bounds, and Jake Sullivan, a senior policy advisor.
In reality, Hussein's regime was a sponsor of terrorism, one that paid families of suicide bombers who attacked Israelis, among other crimes. Trump's cavalier compliments for brutal dictators and the twisted lessons he seems to have learned from their history again demonstrate how dangerous he would be as a commander-in-chief and how unworthy he is of the office he seeks.
What are you talking about? He's a billionaire. He's the best possible presidential candidate.
Yes.
There is none better.
No one better.
Hashtag
Feel the
vote
Trump?
Gary.
Feel the Trump? Alright.
No. Can't stump the Trump. Okay, we're moving on.
Moving on. Alright.
There really isn't that much meat there.
No.
Trump's an idiot. We all love him. And local Canadian news.
Yeah. The Blood Services Canadian Blood Services, places restrictions on transgender donors.
As brought to you by the CBC News.
Yes. Looks like it's... Oh, complex new policy to begin August 5th is discriminatory, activists say.
Shocker.
I love activists and
Shocker.
how they nitpick at things that they don't need to.
Like, honestly, are we shocked that some activist is complaining?
That someone's like, oh my god?
Like, are we seriously shocked? Activists always complain. It's what they do. It's why they're activists.
But basically, if you've gone full-blown transgender, like if I decided to go all the way to female, we'll say, it's basically saying that I can't donate blood while I'm transitioning. Or even, I don't actually know if this article states how long I have to go before I can donate.
Canadian Blood Services will introduce new donation policy for transgender people this summer that does not sit well with some critics.
Yeah, whatever.
Will be implemented on August 15th.
Okay.
Up until this point, donation clinics in Canada allow trans people to give blood on a case-by-case basis, which is actually probably the best way to handle it.
Oh, yeah.
Since, like, there's such a small fraction of our population.
Like what? It says 30 to 50 of the country's 400,000.
Right, like, I think in that case, well, that's just the people who donate blood. Yeah. We don't know what percentage of the trans people who wish to donate blood that is.
I get.
Right?
But the thing
is...
Like,
this could be 1% of the trans people who try to donate blood.
Yeah.
So there could be somewhere in the realm of 3,000 to 5,000 people trying to give blood that can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, under the current rules.
Yeah, but don't you have to register every time you donate blood?
No.
Or don't you have to register to donate blood in the first place?
Yes.
So, but then, like, we don't have a law so far about this. Why would they not donate blood if they wanted to?
Okay, I don't know what the law is currently.
Okay.
What this says here is up until this point, donation clinics allow trans people to give blood on a case-by-case basis.
Oh,
I'm saying
yeah, never mind.
That is probably a more efficient way to handle trans blood donors than an overarching rule. Because of this tiny fraction of our blood donors being
people
trans,
who have actually successfully...
Yes, people that are actual blood donors are trans.
Yeah.
Now, this might be a very small percentage of trans people who are trying to give blood.
Yes.
But remember that trans people are only like 0.7% of our population.
Sorry, I misread a lot of that there.
Recognize that trans people are a group of Canadians interested in participating in blood donation, blah, blah, blah. This is the first time we've standardized and put into our national criteria manual. Previously, trans donors could have gotten a different screening outcome if they'd gone to a clinic in Vancouver compared to a clinic in Montreal. Okay, we already got that.
Standardizing is kind of good, but it's also
right. But when you're dealing with very small amounts of people,
yeah.
Sometimes case by case is more efficient.
Yeah.
Many activists are upset with policy because it focuses on whether or not trans persons undergone gender confirming surgery. Says the criteria will be created a countrywide streamlined mandate for all trans blood donors. That kind of sounds like a transhuman thing. Trans blood.
According to Canadian Blood Services, there has been an increase in potential trans donors, and this has prompted the organization to implement criteria for those individuals.
Okay.
Okay.
The policy specifically targets trans women, and is similar to Canadian Blood Services' upgraded guideline for gay blood donors. It does have exactly to do with what I suspected earlier.
Oh?
On June 20th, Health Canada announced that gay men would be allowed to donate blood if they had abstained from sex for at least 1 year. That's obviously due to the fact that gay sex is significantly more dangerous in regards to HIV/AIDS than straight sex.
Okay.
Trans women who undergo gender confirming surgery will have to wait 1 year before they can donate blood. After that wait period, Canadian Blood Services will also identify them by the reconfirmed gender. If a trans woman has not had gender confirming surgery, why are we calling it sexual reassignment surgery anymore?
Why aren't we?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It used to just be like SRS.
Some SJW probably got upset about it.
Maybe we don't call it that in Canada. I don't know.
I don't know.
That person would be considered as male having sex with a male. Right? That's what I'm talking about. It's exactly what I said earlier. Earlier I had said, there we go. If a trans woman has not had the surgery, then she has a male body. She has a male body. I'll repeat that again. So she, with her male body, would be having sex with a male partner, which the physical interactions of that would be male on male. In the physical sense, it'd be a male body having sex with a male body, which was previously prohibited under these rules, to give blood if you were a man having sex with a man.
Yeah.
or in this case, a male body having sex with a man.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, that's why this new policy is being put in place. Where if you are a trans woman and you have had SRS or GCS or whatever you want to call it, then you have a vagina. You're having sex vaginally, which is why they need to wait a year because it takes like that long. One, to make sure you don't have HIV/AIDS.
Yeah.
And two, to stretch out your fucking pussy. Because your pussy, a man-made pussy, needs to be stretched out.
Don't you have to sit on a glass dildo for like a year or something like that?
Yeah, I don't specifically know all the details, but it's gory, and I don't like talking about it because it's like, ew. I don't want to think about like sitting there stretching out my fucking pussy. But that's why this is changing, because then it's a man having sex with a trans woman's new pussy, and that would be seen as generally heterosexual sex.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's relatively safe.
Now, one thing that I'd like to know, and I'll probably research it and leave it in the description, does that mean that if they continue to have butt sex after this, does that mean they're okay still?
I don't know. Criteria has some complexities. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Canadian Blood Services says there are regulations specific to trans women because that demographic is at high risk for HIV. Because previous to this person, like this person here, this Susan Gapka, previous to her being a trans woman, she was at one point likely a gay man.
Yes. Yeah. No,
right?
that is a valid statement.
I doubt that Susan here, for example, this is Susan. Susan always identified as a trans woman, as a presumably straight trans woman.
Mm-hmm.
Right? At one point, she probably identified as a gay man, and had gay boyfriends, and had gay butt sex.
Yes.
Right? And gay men are at the highest risk. And it would make sense that trans women, especially pre-op trans women,
mm-hmm.
have an abnormally high risk for HIV/AIDS. An estimated 27.7% of trans women in Canada are living with HIV.
So out of the 0.7% of our population...
No. Just think about it like this. Have you ever seen 4 trans women?
One of them most likely.
One of them, statistically, has HIV.
That's ridiculous.
Right? I've seen 4 different trans women.
Yeah.
In the city. I've seen more than 4 trans women. One of them likely, just statistically, has HIV. Which is ridiculous.
That's a really high number.
Right. That's why this is a very small gender-specific rule.
Mm-hmm.
High prevalence of HIV rate in trans women, we're obliged to treat them as a high-risk group. That makes sense.
It makes sense. You can't get butt hurt over
butt hurt.
No, but it doesn't make sense.
Here, bro.
It doesn't make sense how you can be so upset about this when you don't understand statistics and whatnot. Like that one, the woman that we had? She said she is most likely not... It said, would not bother donating blood and thinks the new policy is discriminatory. But if you scroll down and you look at these statistics, it makes complete sense.
It makes sense that they should be treated as an at-risk group.
Yes, exactly.
27.7% is a very high risk.
Yeah, it's a ridiculously high risk.
It's tossing a quarter twice and coming up heads twice in a row. Right? You toss a coin twice, and if you come up heads or tails or any one specific combination...
Twice?
No, it doesn't matter. Okay. It could be heads, tails, it could be tails, heads. Whatever one specific combination, if that's the one you called, then that's you have HIV.
Fuck.
But if I flip a coin right now twice,
mm-hmm.
and you guess both things, you have HIV.
Alright.
That's what those odds are.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculously high.
Right? Like, that's so high. The guidelines differ depending on the trans donor's sexual history. For instance, if a trans woman or man... is intimate with a female, that person will not have to wait before they donate blood. They will be screened by the sex they were assigned at birth.
Okay.
But they will still be screened by the sex they were assigned at birth. Okay, that makes sense.
Wait, one more time. If a trans woman or man is intimate with a female... Yeah.
If the trans woman...
Yeah, so if it was a man who turned into a woman... Okay. Or a man...
If it's a trans woman with a dick that has sex with a female...
Okay.
They will be screened like a man. If it's a woman with... If it's a man, with a pussy,
mm-hmm.
then has sex with a woman,
they will still be assigned.
Then that would be seen as a genetic lesbian couple.
Okay.
Because this man has a pussy.
Yeah.
and this woman has a pussy, they would be treated as a lesbian couple for the purposes of the screening.
Alright.
And this here, the trans woman, this woman with a dick, would be treated as a heterosexual relationship, even though it's woman to woman. Because this trans woman has a penis, and this woman does not have a penis. Goldman acknowledges that the policy is complex and may look over some individual blah, blah, blah. Okay.
And that's where you go on case by case at that point.
No, because it's an overarching rule they can't.
Oh, okay.
If a situation is not covered in the criteria manual or staff needs to do a medical inquiry and get in contact with one of our physicians, we would work things out by case basis.
Okay.
But that's like if it's not covered.
If this one specific person breaks all of the rules,
right,
we go back to the drawing board and we figure out what's wrong or what we can do.
Dr. Adrian Edgar, a specialist in trans, queer, and reproductive health at Clinic 544 in Fredericton, New Brunswick, believes that trans blood donation policy does not emphasize gender-confirming surgery as a focal...
Should not
emphasize... Right, but the other way to do that is so much more invasive, and you have to get like the specifics of a person's sex life. Of have you had anal sex?
With a man.
You know, this and that. It's very. I feel that would be more invasive.
Yeah.
No medical proof that the surgery will directly affect the safety of a trans person's blood. That's why there's a year wait period. Fucking retard.
This is a doctor.
Yeah, I know. Specialist in trans, queer, and reproductive health. So you know he's got fucking SJW tattooed to his fucking forehead.
I'm not gonna say that his job isn't unnecessary, because I feel like to some degree it is. I just feel like...
I think that she's a specialist for everything, but, you know, you should take them, you know, you should take their knowledge.
See, but because he's a specialist, I'd say that we should value his knowledge more than someone else.
Yeah, but he's in this case... He's in a trans, queer, and reproductive health. That's what he's a specialist in.
Okay.
He's not a blood specialist. He's not a... What the fuck are they called? Can't think of it. A hematologist.
Yeah.
I've never seen data that suggests the sexual anatomy of a person who is trans would have an impact on their HIV, syphilis, or their hepatitis status. Okay.
But we just saw a statistic that said 27%.
No, yeah,
are most likely.
But that's trans women. That's with dicks and no dicks.
Okay.
Right, that's all trans women with dicks and without dicks.
Okay.
Edgar also believes that screening trans people by their sex assigned at birth will discourage them from donating blood. Well, they're an at-risk group, and it will be more expensive to screen them. So if they don't donate blood, not the end of the world. And they're a tiny segment of the population.
Yeah.
No one is going to go to a facility that refuses to respect or acknowledge their gender identity. I don't fucking care.
Who gives a shit? Gender identity is...
Yeah, moving on.
Yep. That's the
Susan
same
Gapka
chick that we talked about earlier.
Would not bother. She thinks it's discriminatory. It says they don't want my blood. It says I'm not worthy. It says I don't belong, that I'm not good enough. It just really builds on that erasure. Uh-huh.
Alright. I mean, that means that
Uh-huh.
she was a he and had gay butt sex, and they don't want her blood because of that. If she was a gay male,
it
she would have been denied anyways.
It reduces people to a surgical procedure which is not accessible to everyone, and not everyone wants it, and is really outdated.
Alright.
Interesting. There's only one clinic in the country that actually performs it. Again, you know what? Fuck it. One sec. Fuck, I need to pull up a calculator.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it says that there's the one place in Montreal.
I want to check my fucking
that
percentage.
Performs the procedure. Wow, okay. Just cover up the shit
I know.
Alright.
I know. I'm looking at the percentage of population that's trans.
Population that is transgender. Make sure you type in Canada.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
0.03.
0.3.
0.3%. Okay.
So that 700,000.
That's in America.
Oh, that was?
That was the American figure.
Oh, okay.
0.3 times, we'll do 35 million. It's an approximate. Oh, shit. Wrong number. I can't do basic math, even with a calculator. 0.003. 105,000.
Ish. in Canada?
Yeah, and that'd be a high estimate. That would be. I don't know if that's. I don't know specifically if that is trans in the sense that they're like MTF or if that includes like gender fluid people.
See, but that doesn't make any sense because it already said that there were 400,000 trans people that are. Oh no, never mind. It was 400,000 people who donate blood. Yeah, and there were like 30 to 50 trans on there.
Medical coverage for the surgery varies between provinces, and there's no coverage provided in PEI will live in a different province.
move somewhere else.
Yeah, like literally.
It's probably cheaper to move to a different province.
Go move to New Brunswick. All you gotta do. Okay, it's really hard. It's really hard to move from PEI to New Brunswick. Okay, you put yourself in a car. You rent a place in New Brunswick. You drive across the bridge, and you're in New Brunswick. It's that hard.
Okay.
There's a bridge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Confederation Bridge. There's a bridge. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes to drive across the bridge.
Fuck.
That's how hard it is to move to New Brunswick. Move to New Brunswick, problem solved. You can...
then you can move back.
You can set up all your surgery dates and everything like that. You can even go and, like, drive down to Montreal because it's only like a 6-hour drive maybe to Montreal. Have the surgery, have somebody else drive you back.
Because obviously you can't drive at that point.
No, I think I saw a video of a person who was going through the whole SOS treatment, and they were recommended to stay like in a hotel, like there's like a motel like right next door to this place, and they were recommended to stay there a week, so they would be like immediately available to the doctors if anything went wrong.
That's fair.
Oh, Sophia Banks, some fucking Twitter person.
Fuck you.
I fucking hate this person.
She's got the haircut.
Oh look, you can fucking retweet it and like it all from here.
Interesting. But yeah, she says. Or maybe it's a he. We don't know.
Sophia?
No, they say...
It's a she, but she had a penis at one point. Look at that jawline.
You're right. BS.
No,
you gotta do this? Okay.
BS that I can change my legal gender on my ID as a trans woman, but Canadian Blood Services will only treat post-op trans women as women. Fuck her.
It's almost like that makes sense.
Moving on. Noodle's not perfect. CBS says that Canadian Blood Services says that it included various stakeholders, donors, members of the trans community who are currently donating blood and crafting a new policy, which was approved by Health Canada in June. The new policy will allow some transgender people to donate blood who may have been excluded before.
Well, that's nice.
But Goldman also acknowledges that the new procedure is not perfect. I think moving forward, we will have to see if there is something we can craft that will make our regulatory framework ensure safety for recipients and is more acceptable to members of the trans community, but it is complex, and we will have to beg people's patience.
That was reasonable.
Fuck everyone who's complaining about this.
Fuck
Sophia. My goddamn
Sophia.
Dick. God. BS!
That doesn't make any sense to me.
BS! Okay, guys? BS. Like, I can change my legal gender on my ID, and that says I'm a woman, but Canadian Blood Services will not say that I'm a woman. They will treat me like I am a man. Even though I have a penis, and testicles, and an Adam's apple, and a jawline, and man shoulders, and an XY chromosome, and,
My favorite is, as you went further into that rant, you just got more masculine. Like, when you hit Adam's apple, you fucking dropped. Oh. But yeah, I think it's dumb that you're going in for something that requires you to give forth your biological sex. And people are bitching and complaining.
There we go. Yeah, I don't care.
Alright.
It's not, you know what, at the end of the day, it's very simple. It's not about the trans people. It's about the people who are receiving the blood. I could literally not give two shits about these people's feelings. I don't care. Because I don't care about their feelings when potentially the blood they want to give is contaminated potentially with HIV, syphilis, any form of hepatitis, and it's at a higher likelihood of being contaminated, and they're going to put the fucking contaminated blood in an innocent person's body. So that an innocent person who just needed a blood donation, who needed a fucking blood because they got in a car accident because they were hit by a drunk driver.
And then, boom, your mom has AIDS.
Well, HIV.
Well, HIV. Yeah.
Right? Or you know, your girlfriend or your boyfriend now has syphilis. And now you have to reevaluate whether or not you can stay with that person because that person has syphilis. Syphilis really isn't that big of a deal if you treat it early. But you know that person that you're with, you know, now has HIV.
Isn't syphilis super destructive if you let it go?
Yeah. That's what Nietzsche had. It melted his brain.
Oh, okay.
Made him go crazy. But I think somebody else had it too.
I bet a lot of people had it.
Newton, maybe? No, I think Newton died of virgin. There was somebody in like a scientist in history who was a real pussy hound.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember who it was. But it's not about these trans people. At the end of the day, it's not. It's about the people who are receiving the blood and the impact that it could have on their lives if that blood's contaminated. And when 27.7% of the blood is contaminated,
yeah,
we need to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you're just grabbing a thing and hoping to God that it's not contaminated.
Yeah,
basically.
You know, it's like here we got 2 glasses here. You know, if we had 2 more, and I said one of them is bleach. You can't tell because it's clear.
Yeah.
One of them's bleach. There's 4 glasses here. One of them's bleach. Plug your nose, grab one, and then drink it, and tell me which one it is.
Then I end up dead.
Right. That's what.
Exactly.
That's literally what this is.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what this is. Literally, it's 4 cups. One of them's bleach. You have to chug one, and you better pray to God it's not bleach. It's Russian roulette, and I am not letting whatever fucking butthurt ass SJW Tumblr fucking play Russian roulette with my life.
See, actually, one quick thing about your bleach analogy. The thing that's the most fucked up about this, if we use your bleach analogy, if we let everyone pass through, is no one's gonna know. Like, if I'm drinking bleach, obviously I'm gonna fucking know I'm drinking bleach. It's gonna burn all the way down. No one's gonna know for a year or 2.
Yeah.
Until, like, and then you evaluate your life, and you don't know who you've passed that on to, and then just...
Yep.
Without precautions, the world is gonna fall apart. Simple as that.
You know, and the case is that 27.7% of the blood is toxic. 27.7% of the blood is a gun, a loaded gun. It's, you know, it's a cyanide pill that you don't know when it's going to rupture.
Yeah. It's...
You know, if the analogy works better, then we'll, like, just imagine that it's, like, 4 pills. And, you know, it's, like, all, like...
2 of them, or 3 of them are sugar, 1 of them cyanide.
Yeah, or like, you could actually do, like, bleach. You can put bleach in, like, saran wrap.
Yeah.
And then take it, and eventually the saran wrap will, like, dissolve or, like, open up, and the bleach will kill you. Just a little bit. It destroys your stomach, and the stomach acid does all the rest of the damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, something like that. Like, it's a case of you don't know, and then at some point later, you know.
You just suddenly, you're very sick. And
everything about this is extremely transphobic. No, 27.7% of your fucking blood is toxic. We're moving on.
Yeah.
In a less toxic news and super exciting.
Very exciting. This is from May, but it's still relevant.
Everything's relevant when you're on the internet.
Everything is so relevant. But, looks like they're lab-growing meat. Well, it's been in the works for a while now, but it looks like it's about to hit a boom. That's what it sounds like.
Well, no. Yes and no. In 2013, team of Dutch scientists off the lab-grown burger at a cost of $330,000.
Never mind. I take it back.
But that was in 2013. 2 months ago, American company Memphis Meats tried their first ever lab meatball. Cost of $18,000 per pound. Look at that fucking reduction.
See, but how many pounds is a burger? Well, okay, yeah, but it would still come out of...
This burger would have cost... It was probably a quarter-pound burger.
Yeah.
So that burger would have cost about $1.3 million. Like a pound. $1.3 million a pound.
Jesus.
And it's gone down a factor of 10.
Yeah. That's great.
No, a factor of 100.
Okay, yeah.
Those are tasty items say they barely differ to the real deal.
Barely. I want to know what that barely is. It's probably... Well, it won't be marbled. That'll be the thing. Because you can't... I mean, can you lab grow fat?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay.
You can actually perfectly design how much fat content there is.
All right.
Because you decide what is going into the meat to make it grow. Everything's lab controlled. I'm actually familiar with Memphis Meats. The founder was on Sam Harris's podcast, so I suggest y'all check that out for more in depth about what's going on with this company, the Memphis Meats Company, and about lab grown meat in general.
Seems
the
really
podcast is called Waking Up with Sam Harris.
Okay. Yeah, for some people there's an ick factor, obviously.
Another company, Modern Meadow, promises the lab-grown steak chips. Something between a potato chip and beef jerky will hit the stores in the near future too.
Oh, I want to know what that doesn't sound
like good. like softer beef jerky chips.
All right.
Like imagine beef jerky but a little bit softer.
Okay.
Almost like imagine like a little chewy instead of it all being dry.
Yeah. Yeah, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development estimates that the demand for meat in North America will increase by 8% between 2011 and 2020, and Europe by 7%, and Asia by 56%.
Yeah, China's having a huge boom in their meat consumption.
Oh my god, why?
Because they're starting to eat Western. Starting to eat like Westerns.
Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah, it looks like meat. Like, that looks like ground beef. It looks like a burger patty. It's a little... Like, the burn marks don't look quite as natural.
Well, it's because it's fried. It's not...
Okay.
It's not done on a barbecue. It's fried in a pan.
Okay.
In 2011, study calculated that growing meat in a lab would cut down the land required to produce steak, sausages, and bacon by 99%, and reduce the associated need from water by 90%.
So this is the future. We have to do this.
Yes, and pretty much everyone will get behind it. The only people that will oppose it are like cattle ranchers and people who grow the food that feeds cattle.
Yeah.
That's who will oppose it.
See, but then I think that once this takes off, right? This will be cheap to make. This will be nice and easy to make. Whatever.
It'll probably remain slightly more expensive than traditionally grown meat.
But then, if you're a cattle farmer, you get to keep your business, because there will always be those people who are like, let's buy cattle, let's buy actual meat instead of this lab-grown meat, even though biologically they are the same.
Right, but here's why no one's going to do that. Because what if I told you that in, I don't know, 10 years or whatever, when this is market ready and everyone's buying it, that you can have this burger here, McDonald's will serve it.
Yeah.
And, that burger will have your daily vitamins and nutrients in it. And will taste like a burger. And all of a sudden you're going to McDonald's and you're eating the food there, and you're actually getting healthier.
Interesting.
Something in that meat maybe, because they can add it in at like a molecular level, something in that meat maybe is like something that reduces, risk of diabetes or something.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden the things that we love to eat and
taste good
and slowly kill us, all of a sudden become actual like remedies for those ailments. There'll be no real reason to buy animal meat.
Yeah.
Like hoofed meat. There'll be no reason.
But then where would we get the stem cells from?
The stem cells can be harvested without killing an animal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a needle.
Oh, alright. Works for me.
You can actually, and you can also, once you have that initial batch, you can
make more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like people do it for, like, to humans.
Yeah.
Like for, like, to repair injuries. They'll take stem cells from you, or they'll take cells from you and turn those into stem cells, and then replicate them, and then inject those in the place of the injury, and it will, like, dramatically increase healing times and recovery time.
Alright. But yeah, it's gonna be more efficient.
Culture meat production in the United States painted a less rosy picture. If one includes the generation of electricity and heat required. Wait, but you can produce those, less rosy picture, you can produce all that with green energy. You can't produce cows with green energy.
Hook up a solar panel to a cow, it's not going to get any bigger.
And top of that, cows produce a lot of methane. They're like the #1 contributor for methane.
Greenhouse gases.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Yeah.
Often come with trade-offs that could take animals, for example. Yeah, I'm actually not concerned about the environmental impact of these.
Yeah, he says that it's just cleaning the tanks with heat, but you could just clean it. Yeah,
might be very, very efficient. Yeah, I don't see any reason why they couldn't be able to do that.
Well, I mean, so far it's probably just precautions.
Yeah, no, they want it to be no, they want it to be 100% pure.
Yeah.
You know, and eventually that the governments, in conjunction with researchers and whatever, will establish a line where, you know, where a certain purity is acceptable for consumption, certain purity isn't.
Okay.
In some aspect, researchers say lab-grown meat might be better for us because cultured meats produced in a sterile environment. They'll be free of bacteria, which is a huge fear.
Nomad cow.
Nomad cow, no potential avian flu that jumps species to humans.
Yeah. No
potential swine flu that jumps species to humans. Because we would just keep these animals essentially as, like, in a zoo.
Pets, really? Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want a cow as a pet, but you never know in the future.
There's no antibiotics used in it. Right?
So you're getting, quote-unquote, natural beef at that point.
No, you're getting pure beef.
Okay.
It's better than natural.
You're just getting beef.
It's pure. It's beef cells and a certain number of fat cells.
Yeah.
Just so you have that traditional beef taste that we want. We don't want pure beef taste. We don't want pure beef cell taste. We want pure beef taste.
Yeah.
Which is beef plus fat.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think that's pretty much about everything.
Interesting. But yeah, it's like okay. A study found and followed nearly 200,000 postmenopausal women found that the amount of heme iron in their diet was positively associated with an increased risk of breast cancer. This is what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Other connections between heme iron intake and colon cancer. Good news for lab-grown meat. According to its producers, lab-cultured beef or pork can be made completely free of heme iron. So this is what I'm talking about this food, like, could potentially, like, see, and again here, healthy omega-3 fatty acids could take the place of the trans fats.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, of the saturated fats.
Do you remember years ago, I don't know how many, probably 15, maybe 10 years ago, where everyone was saying, don't do stem cell research, you're playing God.
Yeah, people still say that.
Yeah, but look at where we are now.
Oh yeah, we know when. But the thing is actually, no, they really did in the States.
Like God?
No, they really did shut it down.
Really?
America is years behind Europe in stem cell research.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
Because the Christians got what they wanted and they basically shut it down. It made it really tough to do any stem cell research.
You're not playing God if you can heal people. You can heal their ailments. Like, I don't understand people. They're just...
Yeah, it's, I don't know, I understand some people's, reservations in, you know, doing, like, you know, playing God.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, obviously,
up until we discovered this, you couldn't grow beef, we'll say.
Right, like, but, like, we knew we could do it.
Quote unquote, that would be playing God. You're making an animal byproduct.
Right, but you're just making the animal, like, I think the fear, the greater fear is us doing this and then, like, growing, like, animals. Like, actually, like, engineering the first man-made life.
Okay, yeah.
Like, understanding of biochemistry to such an extent that you can actually write a bacteria.
That's where you get scary.
Right? Like, it's really not that scary.
Yeah, but then you've got biological weapons.
biological weapons are a very low level fear for places like the CDC. Because there's actually a very small fear of it, because if you release a biological weapon, you can't fight it. You can have a vaccine, that's great.
Yeah.
By the time, that, like, if you release it on the other side of the world, by the time it gets to you, and, you've taken your vaccine, by the time it gets to you...
It's mutated.
It's mutated, and your vaccine is useless.
Mm-hmm. So whoever does it is just going to wipe out the planet.
Yeah, there is no way that you can guarantee your own safety in the case of a biological attack.
Alright.
Unless you want to literally live in a bunker for the rest of your natural life.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can ensure your safety. It's obviously it's a potentially devastating attack, but the person who does it also dies. Which is why we should all be glad that the radical Islamists and the radical jihadis are scientifically illiterate. Because they are the only people that would actually be crazy enough to do a bioattack. Because they think if they die, they are going to heaven.
Yeah. That's terrifying to think of.
Yeah. No, it's actually a real problem because, like, they're basically one coup away from controlling Pakistan. Pakistan has nuclear weapons.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing. That is definitely a
the
thing.
Taliban is very influential in Pakistan. In the upper levels of government. Yeah. So, like there's real fears, right, about a suicidal death called getting their hands on a nuclear weapon. There is nothing stopping them from wanting to push that red button and blow up New York City, Washington, D.C.
Yeah, but then they'll be wiped off the face of the planet.
Yes, but they'll go to heaven as martyrs.
And then their cause won't actually be gone.
Yes. They, from their perspective, they're like, okay, we fire first, you fire back, you're dying, I'm going to heaven. That's what they see.
Yeah. See, I think the worst thing is they think they're the heroes. Everyone thinks they're on the right side of history.
Yes, but that's because that's how they're taught. Mm-hmm. They're taught that it's, like, for example, the Orlando shooting. Mm-hmm. Have we talked about that on the podcast?
I don't think we did. So. I think it was still new when we put out the last podcast.
No. The new thing in the last podcast was the Turkey bombing.
Oh, yes.
Obviously, the new thing right now is the Iraqi bombing, and obviously, our hearts go out to the people who are affected by it, and blah, 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 blah. There's nothing to talk about more crazy people doing fucked up shit.
Also, it's still brand new.
Yeah.
So we can't, there's nothing we can say about it because no one knows anything.
This is going to be posted on Friday. It'll be 2 days old by then, and anything we say will be old. Mm-hmm. Moving on.
But yeah, Orlando shooting.
The Orlando shooting, there was a preacher there, a Muslim preacher, and a mom there, talking about how it was compassionate to kill gay people. Because that gay man, according to this preacher, that gay man was going to go to hell. But if someone kills that gay man in the name of Allah, then that gay man is spared hell and is sent to heaven. Because he was killed by a jihadi.
When you say it like that, it's kind of noble, but at the same time, you're still an asshole.
Right, but from their perspective, if someone that I trust and I idolize and I think has a special connection to God, the all-powerful, the feared one, right? And he tells me that you are a gay person.
Yeah.
And it is my... And it would be compassionate of me to kill you so that you and I can spend eternity in heaven together. Instead of me going to heaven selfishly and you going to hell.
It's a weird, twisted way to think of it.
But that's how it's taught.
Yeah.
So that, when you talk like that, you're not inciting hatred. You're inciting love and compassion and a fellowship with our fellow man. That even though you and I, in this hypothetical scenario, live totally different lives. You're a gay man. He's not a gay man, by the way. But you're a gay man in this scenario, and I am we'll say an Islamic literalist, to use like the Christian terms. Where, like, there's people in Christianity who are biblical literalists. They literally believe the word of the Bible to be true. We'll talk about it like that. Well, I am a young, impressionable Quran literalist. I think that the Quran is literally true, and what this Imam is saying is literally the word of God. Then it would be the only good thing for me to do would be to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And then even if the cops shoot me, then
we're both going to heaven.
I'm going to heaven as a martyr, and you're going to heaven as a saved man. Or I can live about my life normally, maybe get into heaven because maybe Allah decides that I'm not worthy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but let's assume I go to heaven anyway, and you're going to hell. But even though I don't like what you do, I still see that you are human.
Yeah.
And that I want everyone to go to Allah's embrace.
Yeah.
So that's what I don't like about like people talking about it as an act of hatred. It was not hatred, it was compassion. And I actually was that religious at one point. You would do anything to save the souls of the people of the world. And, if I was indoctrinated in Islam, it's not impossible for me to have been raised a jihadi.
Yeah.
Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility if I had just been raised in a Muslim household rather than a Christian one.
Mm-hmm.
I might have very easily become a jihadi. At the very least an Islamist. And, like, literally, like, on the streets preaching that, kill the fags.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna move on?
Yeah, I think so.
After that heavy conversation?
Yeah, it's been a lot of heavy conversations tonight.
Has it? I don't know. Oh, fuck the fucking trans!
Yeah.
Fuck the quotes.
No, don't fuck the trans, and you can't donate blood.
I don't donate blood anymore.
This is dope as fuck.
Okay. Keep up with the new GTR. Nissan built a drone that goes 0 to 60 miles per hour in 1.3 seconds.
That's ridiculous.
Scrolling. When cars are traveling upwards of 100 miles an hour, there's chaos everywhere. Finding the perfect angle is frustrating to say the least. That's why many videographers use drones, as a freedom of movement allows them to capture beautiful unobstructed shots that would be otherwise impossible
otherwise.
Whatever, I'm fucking using creative license. Fucking
Okay, so what you just saw there was they didn't even just make this fucking drone. They were like, guys, we'll do this. We'll get the fastest drone possible. They made this to film their fucking car. Alright.
I'm opening it so it looks bigger on the screen.
Fair enough.
Because
it looks sexy as hell.
Sexy as fuck. It's got that fucking bold GTR. And it's all like, Nissan GTR is one of my favorite cars.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's the fastest car under $100,000.
Ridiculous.
And Nissan sells them at a loss so they can hold that title.
Really?
Yeah, they cost more to produce than they sell them for.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the average top speed of a high-end quadricopter hovers around 40 to 50.
Wait, why is there a pun?
Hovers.
So
shooting racing film at breakneck velocities, Nissan turned to the experts in collaboration with World Drone Prix champions Tornado X-Blades Racing. The brand created the GTR drone, one of the fastest first-person view machines in the world.
So you can put a headset on and watch that.
Well, I think he would have to in order to know where it's going. And so that you can adjust it so you can see, like, when you use a camera, right? You got a screen that you can see what's going on.
Yeah.
You'd have to do that kind of thing with that.
Yeah. Okay. It'll be topping out at 115?
115. I did the math. It's 184 kilometers an hour.
That's ridiculous.
Nah.
Shut the fuck up. For a drone? For something probably about this big?
Meh. Yeah, but it's so light.
Yeah.
As for the car itself, the 2017 version is the smoothest, most refined version yet. Don't let its livable attitude fool you. Though, the GTR is still very much Godzilla at heart with 565 horsepower. Counting all wheels. Oh, yeah.
Alright. Well, we're gonna let Zach...
It's such a nice car.
I bet you'll show me later. Well, we're gonna let Zach go rub it out now. Yeah. Because that's all we've got for today.
My girlfriend's upstairs. I don't need to rub it out.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'll rub it out while I'm shitting on the toilet. There's a fucking word for that.
Oh, I know what it was. No, isn't it Blumpkin?
If somebody knows the word for when you're shitting and jerking off at the same time and you like orgasm as you're shitting, it's somewhere on fucking Urban Dictionary. Leave it in the comments below. Okay? Do it.
I think I know the one where your girlfriend's sucking you off. That's a Blumpkin, right?
I have no idea. Literally the only thing I'm drawing right now is rusty trombone, and I know that's something else.
Alaskan bobsled. You shit in a fucking condom and freeze it for a couple hours.
Okay, this is devolving real quick. So, he's Larry. I'm Zach. We've been the tubs of shit that have brought you our opinions. Peace the fuck out, motherfuckers.